guys, welcome to JazzedTutorials, and today we're going to be making something pretty elaborate and pretty awesome. Now, it's a very simple tutorial. There's just a lot of things to paste, copy, and put on. But aside from that, it's very simple and easy to follow. So I wouldn't dub this as a beginner's tutorial only because of the fact that it's more like, there's so much going on at once that a beginner might get confused and not get it. But if you're not a beginner, then this is probably for you, and you'll understand it probably more than they would. So, but if you are a beginner and you're watching this, I hope you learned something. So, yay! Let's just go right to it. So, I'm not really sure what to call this because, well, I'm sure I'll think of something really weird, but I guess it's just like a flowery grunge effect, I guess. Yeah. Well, okay, so we have a lot of things to download, and I'll provide them for you in the description box below, because you will need a lot of stuff to do the tutorial, okay? So the description box below has all the needs you'll need. So let's start off by opening this first texture. And I have dropped the opacity to 30%, but I will show you what this texture is. That's the texture there. And then drop that to 30%. And FYI, guys, you want to start off with a white background on your canvas, okay? But I'm sure you noticed that before I had this texture on. Okay, once you have that texture, then you're going to want to open the next one, which is this lovely one here. And you can't really see it, I'm sorry. It's this one here. It's that one there. And this one's set to 50% opacity with an overlay to this. Sorry guys. Overlay. And that one was set at 30, right? Yeah. Alright, you'll see something kind of like that. Now you can alter the opacities if you feel like they're really too not noticeable right now. But we're going to add one more texture to this, so you might see it then. And we have this one here that is set at soft light. Let me show you what that looks like so you can see it. Alright, it's that texture there. That's also downloadable below. So 45 opacity. Set to soft light. Now, you're going to notice how it's very like, it's not, you can't see your textures whatsoever. We can change that. Don't worry. We have ways of doing that. So I, as you'll notice, have all my textures grouped in one layer. And that's just so I know where they are. But again, that's totally optional. If you don't want to do it, don't do it then. And then above your texture group or your textures, I added a couple of adjustment layers. First one being color balance. And I'll show you what that was. So my midtones, I only changed that, nothing else. It's -25 for your cayenne red, magentas and green, -5, and yellows and blues are +28. And that's the result I got there on the left. Alright, still not cool enough for me, so I went ahead and added a lovely cool curve levels adjustment layer. And for those that don't know where your adjustment layers are, they are located below here, but I'm sure by now you know that. And on my levels layer, I just changed a few things. 100, 1.15, and the rest is the same. And I got that lovely effect shown there. Awesome sauce, guys. So that's your texture, basically your background made. So now we can work on doing the actual person. So now import a photo of your choice. I'm just using a random photo I found on google.com. So use your own, obviously. That's the lady I'm using for my tutorial. I just cut her out of her background, obviously, and you'll do the same. And so now above your girl, guy, whatever your photo is you're using, you're going to add a curves adjustment layer. And before you do that, make sure that when you click on your curves adjustment layer, that you're clicking on the paint bucket thing to make it a mask only onto the girl. You don't want to have any of these effects on the background, just the girl or your subject in your photo. Okay? And I only adjusted the reds and blues. I didn't adjust anything else. So just adjust your red to a little bit like that. You're going to have to play around with these settings because, again, every photo has a different hue and contrast and saturation level to it. So you may not have to go as far as I did on mine. You may want to go a little better, worse, I don't know. But play around with it and get something similar to what I have shown here as a photo. Okay? And once you do that, go to your blues and then adjust the blue upward a bit. And again, play around with this setting to suit your photo. I don't want to give you my numbers because they may be different for you. Okay. Once you've done that and you mask that out, go ahead and add a hue and saturation. And with this as well, hit your paint bucket. And your hue is -8, saturation -50, and that's where that stands. We're good there. And then we're going to add a second curves layer again on top of that. Make sure your paint bucket is selected. And then you're going to just move the RGB down a bit to give it more of a contrasty look to it. Okay, that's where we're at. I hope you're still with me. Okay, and then above that curves layer, I'm going to add another levels adjustment so that it adjusts the contrast a bit more. And I'm going to add a paint bucket to that, obviously. And this is my numbers, 29, 1.90, and 205. Alright, let's make that visible. And, oh, look at that, guys. How cool is that? Okay, now let's go adding some more cool little textures and things. So I found this cool watercolor texture on google.com and I thought it would be useful. So you'll notice how I've already masked it out and put it in there. So let me unoverlay this so you can see what it looks like. It's kind of like a really cool vector. Now I had to mask this out because, guys, if I didn't mask it out, that's how it would look. So the opacity on this one is 51%. And reason being is if it wasn't, it wouldn't blend in as nicely. Alright, so I masked out the white part because it is, however, got a white-ish background to it, so yay to that. And then so that's what it looks like. We're going to overlay that again. Alright, I like that. There. Alright, next I'm going to add some cool brushes and vectors and really awesome things to enhance this photo to really bring it out. So let's go adding some cool stuff. I'm not sure what that layer's for, but okay. Alright, now you'll notice here I found these vectors, or I have these vectors, and they're really cool. They're like flowery type vectors. These were probably made in Illustrator, or Photoshop, I don't really know. I just found these randomly and thought they'd be great to use for this because I like it. So they were already white, had a white background, and as you know in Photoshop, anything with a white background, if set to multiply, will then delete all of the background. So with it being a black and white photo, I did that very same effect. And I took it down to 75% opacity, and I had to go ahead and mask out a bit of the photo, only because if you notice, it's all over her, and we don't want that. So mask out the portions that are covering your photo, just so it's behind your photo. Now, you could technically put this below everything else, but here's why you can't do that. If you were to put this below everything, so it's behind the girl, you would then get all of her colors and hues and saturations, and you don't want that. So you want it to be completely the color that it is, which is black. So that's why I had to do it that way and not the easy way out. So yeah. Okay. Then above that, we're going to add a levels adjustment layer to that lovely vector we just used. So go ahead and I'm going to enable that. And alright, now this is my settings. I just chose 0 over here and 0.33 for that and 213. That then will enhance my lovely photo and give my vector more of an awesome feel to it. Love it. Alright, and then on this layer here, as you notice, I then took another vector, and this was just optional. You may not want to do this, and if you don't, that's totally fine. I don't mind. But I just added another photo here just to give it more of an enhanced photo, because my photo, obviously, it looked kind of plain Jane right there. So I again set my photo to multiply, and I masked out the parts I didn't want in the photo, and I gave her a lovely, cool, flowery tattoo. Sort of. So, yay! I like that, and you might. So I'll leave that below in case you want to download that too. Alright, and a few more things I'm going to add to this just to make it more awesome. I have added a cool photo. Now, if you notice, up here, I put a blue-like texture on her eye to give her, like, eyeshadow that's running down her eye. Now, that is optional as well, but again, I will leave that link below in case you want to try that, but you don't have to. And then going back to this lovely layer here, I then added some cool like lipstick to her. I just took a red hue and a blue hue, and I painted on some like lipstick to her, and I just set that layer to soft light and let it go, and boom, shakalaka. Awesome. Now, one final touch to this. I felt like it needed some more cool stuff to it, so I took some brushes that I already had. This will be what you already have. Find a brush in your lovely selection that you particularly like and want to use. So, like here, I added these two like flowery type brushes because obviously flowers are the theme here in this photo. So I put those right there, and that looks pretty cool. Well, guys, that's the tutorial. That's how you make this lovely flower-like grungy photo. And with the blue eye shadow type effect, if you have more than one eye open, I only had one, if you have more than one, you can certainly duplicate that and add it to the second one as well, if you so wish. So that's it. That's how we made that photo. It was a lot of copy and pasting and textures and things of that nature. I am sorry if that was really hard for you. It shouldn't be, but it might be. I don't know. I don't know your levels in Photoshop. I don't know where you're at or anything. But if you have any questions or comments or anything, suggestions, you can comment below, inbox me here, email me there, tweet me here, Tumblr inbox me there, Facebook message me here, there, everywhere. I am, again, everywhere you are. Links below to where you can find me if you want me. I do try and get back in a timely fashion. If I don't get back right away, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm busy or doing something and just can't really, yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thank you for liking this video. You're all awesome, stay awesome, we're team awesome, and let's paint the world awesome together. Alright, bye guys.